Hello students, good morning all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the mechanism of absorption of water. Absorption of water. We know that the absorption of water takes place by two different methods. One is the active absorption and second is the passive absorption. Okay, this active absorption is again again it shows the two different types of theory. One is the osmotic absorption and the second is the non-osmotic absorption. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. So first of all, osmotic. First of all, osmotic absorption theory. Okay, so osmotic absorption of theory, it shows that the osmotic pressure it plays most important role. Is most important. So what is meant by osmotic potential? We already discussed in first year that the osmotic potential means or osmotic pressure means when the two solutions of different concentration they are separated by a semi permeable membrane. Okay, so the water from low concentrated solution move towards the high concentrated solution. Okay, so this movement is through the semi permeable membrane and it is due to the factors which are responsible for the movement of this is the concentration difference. Concentration difference. That means it is a 1 molar solution, it is a 5 molar solution. So here the water is more and solutes they are less. Here the water is less and the solutes they are high. And through the semi-permeable membrane from low concentrated solution water moves to the high concentrated solution. So it is known as the osmotic potential or osmotic pressure. Okay. So according to this theory, osmotic absorption theory, the osmotic potential, then DPD, it is also known as the suction pressure, is also important. The DPD means the diffusion pressure deficit. It is the diffusion pressure deficit. The diffusion pressure deficit means what? The diffusion pressure deficit means suppose suppose there is a semi-liquid substance and the watery substance. So the watery substance it moves fast and the semi-solid substances do not move fast because there is a deficiency of water or the deficiency of the fluidity, and due to that there is the deficiency of water or deficiency of the diffusion pressure because the liquid or the fluidity of the water it shows the more diffusion pressure, so it diffuses very fast, but this semi-solid substance do not fast rapidly. Okay, so it has the more diffusion pressure deficit, and the suction pressure means it is the ability to absorb the water. Okay, so according to osmotic absorption theory, these three important factors, that is the osmotic pressure, diffusion pressure deficit and the suction pressure. Diffusion pressure deficit is always equal to the suction pressure, or it is these are the same terms, or they are very similar terms. So these three terms they are most important. Okay, so we will draw here one figure. So when we draw a figure of the TS of root, it is observed it is the outermost layer, and that layer is known as the epiplema. The epiplema means the outermost layer of the root. Okay. So some of the cells of this epiplema, it shows the extension. So that are known as the root hairs. That are known as the root hairs. Okay. So these root hairs, they are the unicellular extension of the epiplema cells. Then inside the epiplema, there are the number of cortex cells are present. Okay. So there may be the 2-3 layers of these cortical cells. Okay. We can say that 3 to 4 layers of this cortical cells. Okay. So these cortical cells they have the innermost layer, and that layer is known as the endodermis. Okay. Okay. So these endodermal layers, they have the thick radial walls, and that are known as the Casparian strips. But some of the cells, they are thin. Okay. So these are the thick cells, and these are the thick cells because there is a deposition of the suberin or the lignin. But some of the cells, they are thin walled. Okay. Then inside it, the next layer, so this layer, it is the layer of cortex. So these are the cortical cells. It is the endodermis. It is the endodermis. Okay. Then the next layer, it is known as the pericycle. The pericycle, which is single layer. Okay. So what is the structure? The outermost layer, that layer is the epiplema. It is the epiplema or the epidermis. The some of the cells, they are elongated. Then these cells, these are the cortical cells. They are equally thick. Okay, they are all the cells, they are thin and parenchymatous. Okay, then these cells, they are known as the cortical 4 to 5 or 4 to 5 layer thick. Then inner to it there is the endodermis. Okay, so endodermis, it has all radial walls, they are thick, but some of the cells, they are thin walled, and such cells, they are known as the cells passage cells. Okay. Then the root system, it has the root system it has the radial type of vascular bundle. The radial type of vascular bundle means xylem alternating to the phloem. Okay. So type of arrangement, they are generally seen. So these pericycles, they are in contact with this protoxylem. Okay. Then this protoxylem, they are in contact with the metaxylem. The metaxylem means cells of the xylem which are bigger in size, which are larger in size, and the protoxylem means the cells which are smaller in size. Okay, so what happens when the water which is present in the soil in the form of soil solution. So it is soil solution or soil water. Okay. So this soil water, it contains dissolved minerals in it. So this minerals, it turns into the particles. Okay. So this water, it enter or absorb inside the root hair. Okay. So these root hairs, they have this root hair. So these root hairs, they have the high osmotic potential than that of the soil solution. According to this theory, the soil water, it is less osmotic potential pressure, and these epiplema cells, they have the high osmotic potential. So, or high osmotic pressure. So water is absorbed by the root hairs, or we can say that in a simple way, this soil water, it is the low concentrated solution, and the cell plasma of these root hairs, they have the high concentrated solution. So there is a difference, and this membrane is the plasma membrane in between these two solution, that is the high low concentrated solution, and it is the high concentrated solution. So due to that, the water from low concentrated solution move to the high concentrated solution. Okay. Then from that, the water, it enters into the cortical cell. The cortical cells, how the water it enters? So this cell, that is cortical cell, it has a high osmotic pressure than that of this epiplema cell. Why this epiplema cell, it has the low osmotic pressure than that this cortical cell? Because this epiplema cell, it absorbs the water from the soil. Okay. So the turgid pressure increases. The turgid pressure means, we know that when the water absorbed by the cell, it swell inside and it exerts a pressure towards the outside. That pressure is known as the turgor pressure. Okay. So these cells, they are more turgid. Turgid cells, they have the low osmotic pressure because they have to full of water, and therefore osmotic pressure is low. But this adjacent cell, it has the low osmotic pressure. Okay. And due to that, the water enter inside this cortical cell which have the high osmotic pressure. Then from this, there it is the adjacent cell. Okay. This second adjacent cell, it has the high osmotic potential, while this cell, it absorbs the water, and due to that it becomes turgid, so it reduces its osmotic potential. Okay. The adjacent cell, it has less water and therefore high osmotic potential, and therefore it absorbs water due to the DPD. That means this next cell, it has the high DPD, high suction pressure or high osmotic pressure, and the water which have absorbed the water, it has the high turgor pressure. Okay. Due to, and the low osmotic pressure and low DPD. So then from this cell, the water moves to this adjacent cell. Okay. This water, it moves towards these adjacent cells. So this adjacent cells, so these are the, again the cells which have the high osmotic pressure, high suction pressure, high diffusion pressure deficit, and this cells, they absorb the water, and therefore what happens? They absorb the water, and therefore they have the low osmotic pressure, low DPD and low suction pressure. So they again move towards the next cell. Okay. Then again similar phenomenon. The adjacent cell, it has the high osmotic pressure, it has the low osmotic pressure because it absorbs the water, therefore turgor pressure is more. Okay, osmotic pressure is in the low and DPD is also low. Then it has the this cell it has the high osmotic pressure, low DPD, high DPD, high suction pressure. The water moves here. So in this way, the conduction from cell to cell takes place. Okay. थोडक्यात सांगायचं म्हणजे रूट हेअर्स त्या ठिकाणी त्याच्यापेक्षा हे बाहेरचं जे सॉइल वॉटर आहे ते लो कॉन्सन्ट्रेटेड सोल्युशनचे रूट हेअरचं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन हे जास्त आहे. जास्त जसं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन असेल तसं ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर जास्त असतं. ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर जास्त आहे म्हणजेच डिफ्युजन प्रेशर डिफिसिट आहे, म्हणजेच पाण्याची कमी, म्हणून ते तिथून पाणी घेतं. पाणी घेतलं की ते सेल फुगते म्हणजेच टर्जिड होते. टर्जिड झालं, पाणी भरपूर आलं की डिफ्युजन प्रेशर डेफिसिट तिथं कमी होतो कारण पाणी आलं आणि सक्शन प्रेशर हे कमी होतं. आता त्याने पाणी भरपूर पिले त्याच्यामुळे आता त्याला गरज नाहीये दुसऱ्या याची जास्तीचे पाण्याची. तर सक्शन प्रेशर डिफ्युजन हे कमी झालं, ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर पण कमी झालं. पण त्याच्या बाजूची जी सेल आहे तिचं ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर जास्त आहे, ती सेल तहानेली आहे. डीपीटी जास्त आहे, सक्शन प्रेशर जास्त आहे त्या ठिकाणी. मग त्या ठिकाणी ती काय करते, याच्याकडून पाणी ॲब्सॉर्ब करून घेते आणि मग याच्यातलं पाणी कमी होतं. ही सेल काय करते, परत मागून पाणी घेते. तोपर्यंत हे पाणी ही सेल त्या ठिकाणी काय झालेली असते, टर्जिड झालेली असते. आणि टर्जिड झालेली असल्यामुळे काय होतं की त्याचा परत ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर आणि डिफ्युजन प्रेशर डेफिसिट हा कमी होतो. त्याची ॲडजस्टंट सेल जी असते तिच्यामध्ये पाण्याची कमी असते म्हणून डीपीटी जास्त असतो, ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर जास्त म्हणून ती त्याच्याकडून पाणी काढून घेते. त्याच्याकडून पाणी काढून घेतल्यामुळे याचं परत ऑस्मॅटिक प्रेशर वाढतं, परत डिफ्युजन प्रेशर डेफिसिट वाढतं. मग ते परत रूट हेअर कडून घेतं, रूट हेअर परत त्या ठिकाणी इकडून घेतं. ही कंटिन्युअस चेन त्या ठिकाणी चालू असते. ओके. So in this way the cortical cell they have filled with the water. Then there is the endodermis. The endodermis have only some cells which are the passage cells. Passage cells means they are thin walled. So water from different direction it enters into the passage cell. Okay. The passage cells they have the high osmotic potential earlier, then as the water absorbs they become turgid and they have the low osmotic potential, low DPD. At the same time this adjacent pericycle cells they have the high DPD, high OP, osmotic pressure, so they take water from this. Okay, so water enter inside the pericycle. So this pericycle cells become turgid. But from the pericycle, this xylem, protoxylem cells, water enter into the xylem due to the osmotic potential difference. So xylem it has the high osmotic potential difference and the pericycle is the low diffusion pressure deficit, so the water it releases to this cell. In this way the continuous water is absorbed and conduct towards the another cell. So from xylem protoxylem to the water moves to the metaxylem. Okay, and this water it get accumulated in the root. Okay, so these are the metaxylem and these are the protoxylem. Protoxylem means these are the small and metaxylem these are large. So water move inside this metaxylem, protoxylem and then metaxylem. So water accumulated here in this region. So in the xylem water gets accumulated and it develops root pressure. Okay, it develops root pressure. So this root pressure as it develops, it is responsible to conduct the water. It is responsible to conduct the water. Okay. So this theory, it is given by the scientist Atkin, Atkin in 1916. 1916, the scientist Atkin he had proposed this theory, and this theory is known as the osmotic absorption theory. Okay, so this osmotic absorption theory, even though it shows the points as we feel that it is the correct one, but this theory is get rejected because it has some drawbacks. Okay, so what drawbacks that are? There are some drawbacks. Hmm. Yeah. Not hang with the keyboard. एक फंक्शन चांगले पण तो हँग होतो.